Gonna got some insulation, some plywood at least. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use the lockouts on the backs. Inner, the ones close to the chassis are 80 a little bit after the lockouts, but yeah, it was definitely way too the car. I'm pretty sure you're not idiots except for, yeah, you. Listen that one up, you don't have to take it off all the way. I do, just because it's easier. What we got here, we got something underneath the control arm first, so this doesn't jump. 18 nut over here, and then it's going to be in if you were using like a ratchet seat, well, this bolt here first to free up the control. But yeah, just if you're in here, just make sure you clean up a couple things. You know, somewhat alignment. Torque that to 86, or no, that's 80. Not the hardware for any of the upgrades you do. I would easiest way, just drop your whole IRS. All right, put on your wheels, put on your lug nuts, 150. I don't know, close to an inch, I would say. It was pretty bad. Hey guys, so I wanted to show you real quick what I'm working on today. So I got new tires put on the Mustang. However, these Atturos, which I heard are pretty good, are a bit wider than the Nittos were, to the point where I'm definitely scraping. So I'm adjusting my camber lockouts. I do have adjustable camber arms, as you can see over here. However, I had the alignment down and the wheels are pretty straight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use the lockouts on the back side, which actually, the lockouts were the first thing I've ever installed on a Mustang after I lowered the car. You can see them back there. It's essentially a plate that just has a little double slot for your camber bolt to go into. Yeah, it's essentially what I'm doing on both sides. My lockouts were maxed out to the outside, so I'm just gonna move them both back to the inside and then see if the tires clear the fenders now. All right guys, so I just finished up this side. I'm gonna go a little bit more in detail on when I do the other side, but for your camber arm bolts, inner, the ones closer to the chassis are 80, or chassis 86 foot-pounds, and then the one closer to the knuckle is 75, I believe, or 76. Here's just to show you guys a little difference. So all I did is I hit the camber lockouts to get the camber back in check. It might actually be a little bit too much camber now, so we're gonna have to see. I might have to go back to the alignment place and have them pull the camber back out a little bit after the lockouts. But yeah, it was definitely way too aggressive and sticking out when the way it was right now. So in case you decided to give the Atturos Z850s a try, which, like I said, I heard really good reviews about, just know that the 305s come in quite a bit wider. All right, guys, let's start this up on the other side. First thing we're gonna do is take off the lug nuts. I'm not gonna show you guys how to jack up the car. I'm pretty sure you're not idiots, except for, yeah, you are. But anyways, we're gonna take off the wheel, and I'm gonna switch to the next screen after that, and I'll show you what to do after that. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen up these two bolts right here, or not the bolt. So this one is an 18, that one is a 15, I believe. So loosen that one up. You don't have to take it off all the way. I do, just because it's easier for me to then back out the rear bolt. That one is going to be, for mine, since it's aftermarket hardware, it's an Allen key, and then the other one is an 18 nut. And for the Allen key that I was talking about for the subframe side, what do we got here? We got a 10. So that's going to be the hex head, and then, like I said, the nut is 18. All right, guys, and then in my case, I'm going to take this bolt all the way out so I can grease the connections there and everything. Make sure that you put a jack or something underneath the control arm first, so this doesn't drop down on you. I mean, it's not going to drop like crazy, but still, it makes it easier to put it back together so it doesn't really move anywhere. All right, guys, so essentially this is what I do. I just put a piece of wood on a jack, bring it up to the rotor until it just touches. I'm not applying any pressure and everything. And now I'm gonna move forward to remove the back side of this, which is an 18 nut over here. And then it's gonna be an Allen 10 on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, and then I'll show you what the lockouts do and how they look like in the car, if in case you already have them on your car and you bought them, you know, with them on it. I'll show you what they look and what they do. All right, quick thing to bring up on this driver side here. When you guys get into it, be careful if you're a hex nut or the freaking Allen wrench. If your Allen wrench is on the rear side, where you see all those cables and everything, so those harnesses are gonna get in your way if you're using like a ratchet. So you gotta actually climb underneath and move them out of the way a little bit. Otherwise, just a pain in the ass to get that socket in there. But that's about it. And I'm not sure if that's the way the orientation is supposed to be. Maybe the nut was supposed to be on the other side. I guess I just didn't really even pay attention when I first put it in. But yeah, definitely a few more things in the way on the driver's side. All right, so we got our whole assembly here supported. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this bolt here first to free up the control arm or the camber arm. And then I'm gonna pull out the rear, and I will show you guys what the lockouts look like back there. All right, so what you'll see here next is pretty much the end of the control arm. I took out the little piece that connects to the assembly here. I'm gonna clean everything up, re-grease it before I put it back in, just make sure that there's no dirt or anything gets stuck up in there. But yeah, every time I do this, I take an opportunity to just re-grease everything. I don't know what you guys can see from down here, but I did the whole, you know, BC coil over package, vertical links. You can see that I, instead of the bushings, put in bearings in there. That was a heck of a job. Same thing, I got the IRS stop the hop kit, or at least parts of it. I got the little centering kit for the IRS. The whole IRS did get removed not too long ago. The diff has been replaced. I do need to get new sway bars, something more aggressive. These are still stocks. I'll take you guys underneath the car, just kind of show you a couple more things that I've done. But yeah, just if you're in here, just make sure you clean up a couple things, grease things that need to be greased. I'll tell you one thing, I'm never buying these again. As soon as I I have other projects, I'm gonna replace these with the actual like billet ones, the ones that you don't need grease, because these are pain in the ass. What else was causing a lot of squeak? Oh, the rear sway bar bushings are terrible. It was causing so many problems for me. Finally, what I did, I don't know if you can see it, in between the bushing and the sway bar, I used some Teflon tape and put that around there. Not having any squeak issues anymore. So if you're dealing with squeak issues, first of all, grease your vertical links here. Then another time I had happen, this wheel for the camber arm was actually squeaking, so I had to clean it up and grease it, and then it was all good to go. But then most of the problems came from these bushings back here, and then the sway bar bushings as well. So just a heads up. Okay guys, and this is the part I wanted to show you. So as you see, your lockouts are just a little brackets that go over the original mounting points. Let me see if I can focus in a little better. And what they do, they just allow you two different settings for camber. And then pretty much mine were sitting all the way out in the outer hole. And now I'm just gonna flip the bolt out to the inner, and it should bring in the camber equally on both sides, which should still put me within, you know, somewhat alignment. But then I'm just gonna take it back to the alignment shop again and just double check it. So I don't know, I can't zoom in, but pretty much, yeah, all it is just a bracket that goes over the top there, and you can see you can make an extra hole in the top too to secure it much more soundly. But yeah, if you already have them on your car and you didn't know about it, and this is what they look like, just for a quick camber adjustment without even having adjustable camber arms. All right, guys. All right, guys. So what I did next, I got the bolt in there in the rear hole, so to bring the camber in into the negative direction a little more. And now I'm just gonna torque that to 86, or no, that's 85, and then this one is gonna be 76. I'm gonna clean this up, grease it up, tighten everything, put the wheel back on, and that's it. And then we'll see how it's gonna look once it's on the ground. Another thing I wanted to bring up is hardware and using Loctite. So I use blue Loctite on all my suspension parts. Most of the time I remember it on everything, but so for example, I'm gonna throw some blue Loctite on there. Another thing with your hardware, being a Mustang owner, you know how many times you have to take these apart to grease things, chase squeaks. I mean, all the times you take off the hardware for any of the upgrades you do. I would definitely recommend buying just a IRS rear suspension hardware kit from Ford Performance. I got one of those kits and I ended up pretty much replacing all my hardware eventually, because I just didn't feel safe, you know, taking and reusing this hardware 5-6 times on some of these occasions. So yeah, get you some new hardware. All right, guys, I'm getting everything tightened up. On the rear, I know on the other side I wasn't able to get a torque wrench in there. I'm gonna see if I can do it here. 85 or 86 foot-pounds. I'll tell you one thing, guys. If you're doing a bunch of suspension changes like I end up doing, easiest way, just drop your whole IRS. It's so much easier to get to everything, to torque everything. If you're gonna be doing a bunch of work, it's gonna save you tons of time. It's not that hard to drop. And yeah, it'll save you days for sure. But I'm gonna torque this up, put the wheels and tires back on, and then see how it looks once I drop the car. All right, put on your wheels, put on your lug nuts, 150 foot-pounds for the wheel studs. All right, guys, so I don't know how good I captured the before, but this is perfect compared to what it was. It was sticking out good. I don't know, close to an inch, I would say. It was pretty bad. Same thing on this side, nice and tucked look. and then obviously it will settle down a little more once I drive.